There is a moment where a person's life splits in two. Before and after. For Severus Snape, that moment happens on a summer afternoon in his 5th year in a courtyard full of students with James Potter standing over him and Lily Evans watching. It is not the moment he expects to destroy everything. He is reacting. He is humiliated and cornered and reaching for the only weapon he has left. But sometimes the weapon you reach for in desperation is the one that does the most damage. And sometimes the damage cannot be undone. This is part 2 of the complete story of Severus Snape. This is the part where everything breaks. When we left Snape at the end of part 1, he was heading into his 5th year. He was brilliant. He was isolated. He was walking a line between two worlds that were becoming impossible to hold at once. On one side, Lily Evans, the girl who saw him. The friendship that had outlasted the sorting, the distance, the increasing incompatibility of who they were becoming. On the other, Avery and Mulciber, Slytherin, the group that offered belonging in exchange for performing contempt for everything. Soft, he was still choosing both. But the 5th year is the year that choice stops being available because the bullying from the Marauders has escalated. It is no longer occasional. It is not just hexes and corridors that can be brushed off. By 5th year, Snape is a target in a way that has become a kind of sport. James Potter and Sirius Black hex him for entertainment. They gather audiences. They perform the cruelty with the ease of people who have never been made to feel the weight of what they are doing. And the staff do not intervene. This is something the books are honest about in a way that is worth pausing on. The adults at Hogwarts who are supposed to see these things, to protect students, to hold the line, largely do not protect Snape. Professor McGonagall issues mild rebukes and moves on. Dumbledore, who is aware, who sees everything, does nothing sufficient. The message this sends to a boy who already learned at home that he did not matter enough to be protected is the same message repeated. You are on your own, handle it yourself. So Snape handles it himself. He invents spells, levicorpus, a jinx that hoists someone into the air by the ankle, inverted, helpless, exposed. Exactly what James Potter does to him, but first, Sectum Sempra a curse that cuts deep. He is developing an entire personal arsenal because the institution that should protect him has decided not to. And he is getting angrier, not the explosive, dramatic anger of someone who shouts and throws things. The cold, gathering kind, the kind that has nowhere to go, and so it compresses. And compressed anger in a person with as much talent as Severus Snape is not safe. There is an incident in 5th year that the books treat with careful, measured horror. Sirius Black tells Snape how to get past the Whomping Willow. Push the knot. Follow the tunnel, see what's at the end. He does not say, what's at the end is Remus Lupin transformed a fully grown werewolf. He does not say that because he knows it, because the entire point is that Snape will walk into that tunnel without knowing. Why does Sirius do this? The books suggest it was a joke, a prank, the Marauders' brand of humor, which has always had a dangerous edge, gone further than intended. But even calling it a prank does something uncomfortable. It softens the shape of what Sirius Black was willing to do to a 16-year-old boy he disliked. He was willing to let him die, or at minimum, he was willing to let something terrible happen and tell himself it was funny. James Potter follows Snape into the tunnel. James Potter, who torments Snape by day and hexes him in corridors, pulls him back, saves his life. The books do not give us the details of what Snape saw at the end of that tunnel, but they give us the aftermath. Dumbledore swears Snape to silence, says it must be kept quiet for Remus's sake, for the school's sake. Snape keeps the secret for 30 years, and James Potter never apologizes, not properly, not with any acknowledgement of what could have happened, not with any evidence that he understands the weight of what Sirius did or what he himself had been doing day after day to a boy who already had nothing. What this leaves Snape with? A life debt. To his tormentor, the specific burning humiliation of owing the person you despise the most personal thing you can owe anyone, your existence. He does not know in this moment that this debt will one day become the foundation of a choice that saves the entire wizarding world. He only knows that he owes James Potter his life, and he hates him for it. It is the end of 5th year. OWL examinations are over. Students sprawl on the grass in the relief of finished things. It is warm. The castle feels looser, lighter, the tension of exams releasing into afternoon and summer proximity. Severus Snape sits alone. reading. Head down, trying to be invisible, which is a skill he has had years to practice, James Potter decides he is bored. What follows is the scene Harry sees in the pensive in Order of the Phoenix. James levitates Snape into the air, upside down, by the ankle, exposed robes falling, a crowd gathering, Sirius laughs. Others laugh, not because it is funny, because they are afraid not to. Beat of silence. Lily Evans pushes through the crowd. She tells them to stop. She is, even now, even here, defending him. James turns on the charm, flirting, deflecting, performing for the crowd, asking her to go to Hogsmeade with him. And Snape hanging upside down in front of everyone, humiliated beyond the point where pride has any purchase left, says the word, mudblood, at Lily, the one person defending him. The one person who has not stopped trying. The books do not give Lily a dramatic reaction. She does not scream. She does not cry. She just says, I'm not going to be called that by you. And she walks away. And in her walking away, something ends. Not loudly, quietly, with the finality of something that was already cracking and has now simply broken. People argue about this moment. They argue about who was worse, James Potter for the humiliation or Snape for the word. But the books are not interested in that argument, because both things can be true simultaneously. James Potter was cruel. The evidence across 5 years is extensive and damning. He tormented Snape for sport with an audience without consequence. And Snape chose the worst word he knew, chose it for a specific reason, because mudblood is not just an insult. It is the insult. The one that says, you do not belong here. Your blood is wrong. You are less. It is the insult his Slytherin circle uses casually, the one he has been nodding along to for years because belonging required it. And in the moment of greatest humiliation, when everything else was stripped away, that is the weapon he reached for against the only person who still believed in him. This is what despair does. It turns you toward the people who cannot fight back. And Lily Evans, who has been trying to reach him for years, who has held out longer than anyone else would, who has asked the same question in different ways, has her answer. She stops asking, he apologizes, he finds her that night outside the Gryffindor common room, and he apologizes, and Lily says something that is one of the most quietly devastating lines in the series. She says that she does not think it was an accident, that she has been making excuses for him for years, that he has chosen those people. Avery, Mulciber, the dark arts, the whole world that treats her like she is lesser. And that she cannot keep watching him choose it. She is not angry exactly. She is tired and done. Snape leaves Hogwarts the following year with no Lily. No real friends, his Slytherin group, his talent, and a very specific kind of emptiness. The kind left not by something that was taken, but by something you gave away. He joins the Death Eaters. This is not surprising. Every step of his adolescence pointed here. The ideology he performed until it became something like belief. The friends who were already on this path, the world that kept telling him he did not belong anywhere else, but there is something more. Voldemort offers Snape something specific, not just belonging, not just power. He offers to see him, to say, you are exceptional. Your magic is extraordinary. You are not the boy on the ground in the courtyard. You are someone who matters. For a man who has spent his entire life being treated as invisible, this is intoxicating. Snape is brilliant among the Death Eaters. He is precise and inventive and utterly committed. He rises, he is valued, or something that looks like valued, which is sometimes enough when you have never had the real thing. And then he makes the worst mistake of his life. He is at the Hog's Head. He overhears something he was not supposed to hear. A prophecy, partial, interrupted before the end, about a child who will have the power to vanquish the Dark Lord. He goes to Voldemort with what he heard. He does not know in that moment what those words are going to cost him. He does not know that Voldemort will hear them and begin planning immediately. He does not know that the child in the prophecy is the son of Lily Evans. He finds out, and then there is only one place left to go. Part 3.